Hi, my name is Leah Chantel, and today I'm going to talk about why faith is a key resource that helps us through dating and relationships at different phases in our lives. As sensitive people, we'll be highly encouraged to partner by many people in our lives who believe that we're great and we deserve a great partnership. And while people mean well when they wish us well in our relationship lives, they sometimes don't understand the kind of pressure that they're putting on us as sensitive people. And if we're not careful, our unconscious can kind of rebel against this well-meaning consciousness of other people who want the best of us, and we'll choose a partner that's actually not that good for us. And it's a way of becoming a free spirit and just enjoying life on our own terms. And it's okay to enjoy life on our own terms. We can date somebody we're not serious about, who we find attractive. It's more that when we do it unconsciously and we're not understanding why we do it, and we think we want a serious relationship, but then we actually hurt ourselves by choosing somebody who's not a good candidate for a serious relationship, we basically just hurt ourselves. And I think a lot of people do dating and commitments like this where on the surface they think they want a marriage or they want a long-term relationship, but underneath they actually want a different experience. So first of all, I just want to say it's okay if you want a different experience. Of course, people want us to partner and be happy and healthy because they think that way we're going to have a great life, and they want us to be set up for a great life, and they mean well. But they don't always understand that sometimes that great life that they pictured for us as sensitive people isn't always the life that resonates with us. Sometimes we want a little more freedom and independence, and we want to live life on our own terms, even if it's difficult. In fact, I think freedom is one of the greatest motivators that everybody wants. The reason why the housing crisis is such a serious situation in many parts of the world is it takes away people's freedom. They're scared to leave their marriages, they're scared to get into marriages, they're scared to go live at home with their parents, they're scared to live on their own. It's like every decision about our living arrangement seems so scary and monumental because everything is so expensive. And then people become paralyzed. It's like they can't move anywhere, they can't make any changes that they really need to change in order to be happy. So first of all, I want to mention that it's really important to do whatever it is that makes you happy, regardless however it looks on the outside world. I mean, if living with your parents, so I don't usually encourage people to live with their parents because they usually feel kind of sad and not good about themselves when they do live with their parents. But for those people that feel good about it and the parents like it and everybody agrees on it and everybody's happy with it, then who am I to say that it's right or wrong, I think for a lot of people, they are subtly unhappy when they live with their parents. And so it's better to live on your own or to have a happy, healthy partnership when you're an adult. But I mean, if you're happy living the way that you're living, you should go for it. All I'd ask is don't bitch and complain about your parents if you choose to live with them. I mean, if that's the case, then it could be time for you to move out and become a little bit more independent, especially if you're an adult with a pretty decent job. Aside from not worrying about what your life looks like on the outside, as sensitive people, we also have to do what feels right deeply on the inside. And some people get very confused about the advice, follow your heart, because they're following an emotion or they're following an impulse. And there are some people that are very emotional and very impulsive, and it gets them in big trouble. So think about that person who gets really in trouble when they're yelling at the doctors asking for help, but the doctors aren't there or they aren't capable of responding in that moment. Those people get themselves into trouble. They get very emotional because they're in pain and nobody helps them. So when we don't have a good pulse on our emotions or how they can really help us or serve us, we can kind of be controlled by them. And then following our hearts or following our passion just becomes like following our basic instincts as humans, like following our sex drive. And that's not always a good thing. So when I'm talking about following the heart, I'm talking about the deepest level in the heart. And I'm not saying necessarily that your biological needs are wrong or your sex drive is wrong. It's natural. It's a part of who you are as a human being, as a biological being. So you don't want to demonize that. or say that it's wrong. You just want to make sure you're living at a slightly deeper dimension than that basic biological dimension. You don't want to date people just because they look good. You don't want to date people just because they have money. You want to date people because deeply your souls resonate with each other and you get along and you want to build a happy partnership or a happy life together. That's the good reasons to get into a happy, healthy relationship. And if you can go there and be happy, then you should do that. And absolutely all of us deserves to have a chance at that. Even people who've struggled with addiction or have struggled with jail, I mean, if they've gotten over it and they have learned to transform themselves and move on from those experiences, as long as they have changed and they have made that effort to transform, which is very difficult but can be done, then they definitely have the right to pursue happiness and have relationships as well. So we don't want to be in judgment of people, but we do want to be discerning and evaluate if they're still getting in trouble, what we're going to do in terms of setting boundaries. So not everybody is a right fit for us. Some people are struggling with problems that we're not going to understand as sensitive people. For example, I have had a couple of previous partners who've really struggled with alcohol. And as a sensitive person, I'm not saying I've never had alcohol. I actually have a little bit, but now I don't drink. I've never really had much alcohol as an adult. So being addicted to it is a very foreign experience for me. So if I have a partner who's really struggling with that, I might not be the best supportive partner for that because I don't have a lot of background in that. If I had a partner like that today and they were really genuinely committed to change, I would encourage them to go to a 12-step group. And maybe they would get their support for that there, that I couldn't provide as the partner. I could provide support in other areas where I have struggled and where I have had problems. Like, for example, there are times where I've struggled studying in school and then I got really good at school and I transformed in my academic journey when I was younger. So I would be a good support person for somebody who had that type of problem. But as for alcoholism, I'm probably not the best partner for somebody recovering from that. But we all have our gifts. We all deserve to find happiness. We all have those qualities inside us that allow us to be good partners. But we have to accept ourselves for who we are. Sometimes we're not ready to partner. Maybe we're never ready in this lifetime to partner, and that's completely okay. I think our journey as sensitive people is not necessarily to arrive at a destination where we say we're partnered or we're married. It's more about the journey of growth and self-development and being happy with our authentic selves the way that we are today.